Luna nosedived 100% right to the bottom in the last 30 days. I mean, that's almost unprecedented even for crypto. Let that sink in. 100% down. LUNA came all the way down from a high of $119 on April 5th to a fraction of a fraction on a penny. And you have a similar price trajectory here, as you can see, for Terra USD. That is the Terra Luna stablecoin, ticker UST. What happened? How could a successful top 10 crypto project be so vulnerable? There are many questions, many grievances, proposals, and even conspiracy theories as to what exactly happened. But there's still the question as to what happened to the millions and millions of dollars in reserves of Bitcoin, AVAX, and more, which were meant to preserve the Luna peg in the first place. The burning question, though, is will Terra Luna ever bounce back? Will UST ever be deemed trustworthy again? Or is this the end? Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. We are a crypto investment research company. We have documented many 100x returns on coins and tokens that are top projects today, really before anyone else was even talking about them. And if you want to see our detailed process for researching such projects, then our new and improved Altcoin Buzz Access group is for you. Our plans start at $99 monthly. Be sure to click the link below for more information. As a friendly reminder, you guys know that whether it's cryptocurrency or other forms of investment, there's a lot of corresponding risk, as we've seen. So just bear in mind that the content of this video should not be considered to be official financial or investment advice. Let's discuss UST in detail. How did we get here? What happened? In a recent video, we covered the fact that UST suffered at the hands of the so-called death spiral. This is something, unfortunately, that can really kill algorithmic stablecoins. And in simpler terms, Luna and UST work together to preserve UST's peg to the US dollar. And the algorithm to maintain the peg burns Luna to mint UST if the price is over $1. And then it burns UST for Luna if the price is below $1. Seems simple enough. This, in combination with arbitrageurs taking advantage of something they can buy for 98 cents and sell almost immediately for $1, is basically the way they kept maintaining the peg for UST. And then the alleged attack occurred. Let's talk about the attack, because it's still not yet proven that it was a deliberate attack, but many of you out there, many people in the crypto space believe it was in fact deliberate. But first of all, how could this happen? Well, way back in November, crypto investor Freddie Reynolds described exactly how this could happen in a George Soros-style attack, basically referring to how George Soros crushed the Bank of England by shorting the British pound in the 90s, profiting, by the way, to the tune of billions of dollars. This great speculative analysis was made 6 months before any of this happened, and what happened was actually very similar. It played out in a very, very similar manner. So that's how it could happen, creating a vicious cycle of continuous minting and selling or shorting in order to drag the price down. So each time more Luna is needed for the $1 of Luna for the $1 of UST. That's how it could happen. But what did happen in actuality? First of all, we have the Curve 4 pool, and the goal of the 4 pool was to be the place to exchange your stablecoins. It has 4 stables in the pool: USDT, USDC, UST, and Frax. And the goal, as Terra Labs founder Kwon stated, was to kill DAI. DAI was the third stablecoin in the famous Curve 3 pool of stablecoins, and Kwon wanted to displace DAI with UST. And Kwon even famously said, "By my hands, DAI will die." Liquidity for UST was lower than usual because Terra was preparing to put UST into the 4 pool. And in fact, the day this all started was exactly 1 day prior to the opening of the Curve 4 pool. It's another reason why people think this was a deliberate attack and not just a scam from Terra or a major design flaw on the part of UST. Okay, but what happened next? Well, we have a few sources who are suggesting that our yet unnamed attacker borrowed BTC from Gemini by shorting it. So knowing the Luna Foundation guard LFG is buying BTC at a reserve to protect their peg, or the unknown attacker offers LFG a direct OTC, that's over-the-counter deal, for $1 billion of UST. So here we are, and liquidity is low due to the shift from 3 pool to 4 pool for UST. Now, big sell orders for UST start coming in on Binance. This includes a $10 million sell order. In the meantime, aggressive shorting of Luna is happening simultaneously. Liquidity is nowhere for people that want to exchange UST for USDT, USDC, or DAI, so the depegging begins. Anchor, where most UST resides due to its famous 20% interest rate, is seeing tons of withdrawals and burning UST, which is creating even more Luna. And a full 52% of all deposits on Anchor have been withdrawn now, and lots of loans have been liquidated. As Ryan Selkis, founder of crypto data management firm Masari, said, this looks like an attack and an attempted kill shot by a pretty savvy bear, so a sophisticated operation. No one knows if this savvy bear investor is just an investor making money on shorts or if they have an agenda from a centralized stablecoin, for example, USDT or USDC, or someone trying to help DAI possibly maintain its relevance. And look, because we don't know either, at least not with certainty, we're not going to speculate on it, even though some huge TradFi firms are already denying their involvement, including ones, by the way, that have a relationship with USDC. All right, but you may be asking yourself, what happened to all those Terra reserves that were supposed to protect the UST peg? Take a deep breath, because this is ugly. Since January, the Luna Foundation Guard, the LFG, they stockpiled over $3.5 billion in reserves. This consisted of Bitcoin, Avalanche, ticker AVAX, Luna, and UST, all bent to deploy if UST ever slipped below $1. And as per the foundation, that loaned capital would be used to buy up huge amounts of UST, creating buy pressure that would push the stablecoin back up to its intended price. But even days later, no salvation has come for the stablecoin, and it is still trading at under 10 cents. Today, on the 16th of May, as I record this video, LFG confirmed that it has sold 80,000 BTC, that's 80,000 Bitcoin, which you can see is also trending here on Twitter. They did this in order to buy back UST in desperation. And now they're looking to use the remaining assets to potentially compensate the remaining users of UST and would prioritize small hodlers first. Interesting. Probably admirable too. Even Ethereum founder Vitalik Buterin supports the small hodlers first compensation move. Let us know what you guys think about that in the comments below, but it does seem to be a commendable action. Okay, but what's going on with Terra now? In a series of events, Terra Luna's token kept losing its price. We've seen it. Exchanges like Binance, Crypto.com, they kept delisting Luna. However, the Luna trading has resumed on most of the exchanges now. One of the first observations was that Terra's validators agreed twice to stop the network. The first such instance was on Thursday, midday into the early afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. This was so validators could add a security patch to their system because a governance-based attack would cost a lot less to try at this point. And if that were to happen now, it would kill off the project, plain and simple. And after about 30 minutes, the chain restarted and then started to produce blocks again. But then there was a second and more concerning stoppage. It started around 11 p.m. EST, and this tweet from Terra shows that they've been hard at work on a plan to reconstitute the network. And then finally, after 10 hours, they restarted production of new blocks. When they restarted, they disabled on-chain swaps and bridging off-chain assets like BETH used for collateral on Anchor. However, the popular wormhole bridge is now working. Former developer relations lead of Terra, Will Chen, who goes by StableChen on Twitter, gave us some insight on what the community and developers are discussing. His observations include restoring the chain to a moment prior to the attack, full collateralizing of UST. We mentioned a partial plan to collateralize it in our most recent stablecoin video. Check that out if you've not already, by the way. And also suggested new pegging, minting, and burning mechanisms for Luna, and other very serious changes to try to save UST, Luna, and the ecosystem of apps built in Terra. Remember, because of the minting and burning relationship between UST and Luna, burning UST to get rid of lots of the bad debt in the system now has meant that the circulating supply of Luna has skyrocketed. We have been covering this. Go back a little more than a week ago and you can see that the supply was declining every day because burning it created more UST. The circulating supply for Luna on the 3rd of May was 343 million. And now the circulating supply is 6.5 trillion after 5 days in a row of growing that figure, growing the circulating supply. All of these factors together influence that death spiral of Luna. We have price declines, skyrocketing supply, price declines further due to the huge extra supply, and then the price and supply keep building on themselves as that vicious cycle intensifies. And unfortunately, this is how a top 15 coin can go from over $100 to a fraction of a penny in just a week. Current prices of the three biggest projects on Terra are UST at just under 10 cents instead of $1 where it ought to be pegged. Number 2, Luna at 0.000018, and Anchor, ANC, also at about the 10-cent range. Now, to be fair, Terra is going through an existential crisis, and right now they're just trying to save the two assets in the ecosystem. So all the effort, all the focus is on that. But there is something that may help the community and the Terra ecosystem move forward. Here we're on agora.terra.money looking at the newest revival proposal from Kwon. On Friday, midday Eastern Standard Time, this plan came into existence. Kwon posted on the Terra Governance and Research Forum. The proposal to save the ecosystem is a hard fork and recapitalizing with 1 billion Luna tokens. The tokens will go to the following groups. First of all, 400 million or 40% to Luna holders before the DPEG event. So this includes everyone that held B Luna, Luna X, P Luna, and other derivations, all but replenishing the Terra Labs account. All other account holders. Another 400 million, another 40% to UST holders on a pro-rated basis at the time of the new network upgrade. Presumably, that means as of right now. Then 100 million or 10% to Luna holders at the time Terra stopped the chain yesterday. The idea here is that some last minute buyers helped to provide exit liquidity for the UST holders and some of that bad debt and should be rewarded. And then a final 100 million, the last 10% will be for the community pool for future development. Luna would be distributed and automatically staked due to the fragile state of the network and lower costs involved in trying a 51% attack. So you'd be able to unstake it anytime with your Luna, but the proposal does not say if you have to wait 21 days like in the previous unbonding policy or pay a higher swap fee to swap it immediately. That's Kwon's proposal, but here's another decent proposal option up for discussion in the forum. Here we have Revival Plan 3.0, the collateralization plan. The plan by member Trogdor has some backing as well. Let's see what they're proposing. Basically, it's burning all Terra Labs tokens and community tokens. So this is equal to 11% of the supply of UST and would help prop up the price. He recommends burning TFL's Luna tokens as well. But according to Ash WSB, LFG needs to burn at least 80% of the supply for Luna to hit $1, and that would mean burning a part of your Luna holding also. So that really does break our hearts to hear. But there's a new purchase plan that includes making whole, burning, and collateralizing. Here, the proposal is to accept investment into another stablecoin such as USDC. Then buy 1 UST in the open market for each $1 USDC invested and give to an investor to help them recover their funds. Then use the remaining tokens after investors are covered the following 4 ways in equal 25% measures. First of all, number 1, buy Luna to give to investors. Number 2, buy Luna and burn it. Number 3, keep as USDC for collateral. And number 4, buy Luna to keep as collateral. So more community involvement and a request to replace the executive team is also on the table. And where there would be more details to work out, there are aspects of this recapitalization program that make a lot of sense actually, including collateralizing the new tokens at first and keeping some as collateral to help manage the price. Realistically, we think Kwon's plan is more likely to pass than this one, as Kwon is in a position to implement his plan. And this plan by Trogdor, noble as it may be, is probably not going to be taken as seriously. But look, the community is looking and considering all of the strong ideas out there, so anything's possible. There are a couple of others on the table as well, but we think this collateralization plan from Trogdor has the best chance of being an alternate option. Needless to say, everyone with a stake in Luna, UST, or Luna derivatives, such as Luna X or AUST from Anchor, all of these people are going to have a lot to think about and a few things to vote on in the coming days about the future direction of the Terra blockchain and its ecosystem. So there you have it. No rumors, no speculation, no mention of BlackRock or Citadel or other potential investors or bad actors, just the facts as we know them as far as exactly what happened. The death spiral that has broken algorithmic coin projects before UST that many feared could or would happen, unfortunately did happen here. And if it was an attack, and by the way, we think it was, then the attacker picked the perfect lowest liquidity time before the new curve for pool to put into action their plan. Even 48 hours later, after the start of the for pool, this would have been much more difficult to do and more costly to do because there would have been lots of UST liquidity available on curve that was not available when the attack happened. So this was a precision move. We explained Terra's initial reactions, their 2 halts on their chain and their restarts, and 2 plans that they're considering moving forward. Never has a coin this big had this kind of a catastrophe happen. Never has a stablecoin with this much acceptance seen this kind of problem. And never a coin with an ecosystem built out and as big as Terra's, never have they had this kind of implosion of one coin or project. None of this has ever happened before. We're in uncharted territory. But that's why the repercussions of this, both for Terra and the industry, are still unknown and could remain in effect, unfortunately, for some time. But look, guys, it's not all doom and gloom. Crypto has survived terrible things before. We're going to chalk this one up to experience as well. Many forget, for example, ETH's DAO hack that almost killed it 6 years ago, and just look where we are today. In fact, the one positive is that if you have some money, some dry powder set aside, well, then the very best projects right now in the space that have nothing to do with Luna or UST, all of these are on major sales right now, and there have been 0 fundamental changes to their quality in the last week. So not financial advice, but it may be your chance to buy up the best of the best projects at a massive discount. That's what we're doing, full disclosure. It's certainly been a crazy week in crypto, and that's an understatement, if anything. Guys, let us know your thoughts about this in the comments below, these ongoing developments. If you're still watching this video, kudos. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell to receive notifications. Never financial advice, but of course, best of luck if you do choose to invest. Check out these other couple of related videos to my left and to my right. Stay safe out there, members of the Altcoin Buzz Army. As always, we hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.